My wife had prepared a supper and wine for her friend when I returned early from a work trip. We had an unmade bed. We have been married for 31 years and reside on the West Coast. My wife is F55 and I am N54. My firm relocated our little family, 3 kids, 2 from the East Coast, here 20 years ago. I have grown in responsibilities over the years, and I am now the Vice President of West Coast Operations. I followed a man who, after being elevated to the position of North America Vice President, served as a mentor. He was replaced by me, and he is now retiring. He has given me the go-ahead to run to succeed him. We would have to return to the East Coast where we were raised if I were to get the job. We have a strong local presence and are actively involved in the community through our own charity endeavors as well as those of my company's foundation. Our children have grown up and are dispersed around the nation. None are close by. Our weekends are typically jam-packed with activities or trips to visit the kids' family. My wife has some concerns about me finding a job, as I discovered when I talked about this with her. She is unsure about her desire to move everything. We would be relocating close to our extended families. About 200 miles distant would be one of our children. Because of my age and position, I believe this will be my final promotion inside the organization. No other places to go. We've talked about it and decided that it won't hurt to conduct the interviews. My supervisor or a buddy is trying to get me. Since some board members attend the charitable activities we engage in, I am acquainted with several of them. Due to the time I have spent here, I also have a good understanding of the senior management. Again, I must underline that my wife is finding this difficult. I absolutely comprehend how she is feeling. I therefore attended the interviews this week and traveled back to HQ in the East. Interviews went smoothly. There were 3 further internal candidates, and they are all searching elsewhere. I had to convince them of my worth. I am aware that I am not a sure thing in this situation because they did not try to sell me a position. Every night, I talked to my wife. She broke down in tears, saying she didn't want to prevent me from getting the promotion. When I get back, we'll chat. Although I understand that she was upset about the transfer, this was not typical behavior for her. Last week's interview was on Thursday. I was going to stay and return on Friday. On Thursday, I took a flight home to find out what was going on. She was on the couch with a man I only vaguely know from some volunteer work when I stepped in the door at around 9 o'clock. There is a wine bottle that is empty. I inquired as to the situation. Sam, according to her, dropped by to discuss a forthcoming occasion. Drinking with visitors is a common occurrence. We always make the bed in the mornings when I'm there. It's a habit to get something done every day. Sam is walking out as I come back in. We say our goodbyes, and after she kisses me, she inquires as to why I'm home a day early. I entered the kitchen while avoiding her. Pots are on the stove, and there are dishes on the table. She cooked the meal. I inquired as to what was happening. Sam was invited to stay for dinner because I was preparing dinner. When I'm gone, my wife very rarely, if ever, prepares a whole supper. Again, she queries why I arrive home so early. She is clearly shaken and quite anxious. I told her I wanted to talk to her since I knew she was upset over a possible move. And I said to her, I think you should explain to me what the hell is going on. She burst into frenzied sobbing while blubbering incoherently. She is a little tipsy right now from the wine, but I can tell that she is quickly coming to. She claims nothing is happening. You say that, why? I typically keep my cool, but I became agitated. It appears that you are mistreating Sam. Have I got that right? She commanded the screaming to cease and then entered the bedroom, locking the door. It is now Saturday. She simply left the room briefly to get something to eat while I was on the phone. She has been invited outside to discuss. I committed not to shout. I am aware that she is attempting to shift the blame by making an excuse that makes sense. Anything else I can do? I definitely need some new outfits. I removed my current clothing from the laundry. I'm hoping for a sensible response, but given that she's in jail, I doubt it. My supervisor informed me that there will be more interviews the following week. I'm not sure if I should stay for the wedding or keep doing the interviews. She won't answer me through the door, so I've already canceled our planned supper for tonight. There isn't really someone I can bounce this off of. Even though my oldest kid and I get along great, I can't tell him this. Help me to think clearly. The story has come to a conclusion. Let's take a look at some of the Reddit users' remarks. First comment: call Sam and let him know that your wife told you everything. Inquire of him as to why he committed the act. Tell him to be honest with you, and you will spread the word to his charitable organizations to ensure that he won't even show his face anywhere else once more. Find out who his wife is if he is married and tell her what you observed. If she doesn't come out and talk to you, she has a right to know about your marriage. Inform her that you will phone the kids' homes to describe what you saw. She refuses to look you in the eye because she is aware of her guilt. Never speak to Sam. Sam is not your spouse. Your promises to each other at your wedding were not broken by him. Certainly, your wife is acting unjustly. I think she'll tell the truth. She is attempting to come to terms with the fact that you know and how to tell you. Will you let her go? There is a catch-22 here. You'll have to devote a lot of time to her and treatment if you want your marriage to last, which will prevent you from getting a promotion or moving on to the interesting next phase of your job. The relationship breaks down if you are preoccupied with work, since she isn't holding up her end for the two of you as well as she used to. You'll have to stay in your town with her lover if you don't get the job. She will leave her affair behind if she travels with you, but you will always wonder if she is keeping herself occupied while you are at work or if she is doing her thinking. You engage in thought. Would you be comfortable living alone? You two have found many comforts in marriage. Until she comes to talk to you, I would strictly advise leaving while alone. Sleep in the guest room, dine out, and speak with a lawyer to determine the financial impact of divorce so you can make the wisest decision. You shouldn't speak to your son just yet, but you must have another confidant who would listen to you while you drink a few beers until she speaks with you. We can't tell you if you should leave her or not because there has been adultery and lying, but it normally takes a while to rebuild trust and identify the root causes of the problem. Well, all of the options are difficult, but ignoring this can look like one. It is unhealthy in the long run. Why are you home so early? May replace comment number 3 up there. She was so stunned by your sudden return that she was unable to even pretend to be delighted that you were home. Why couldn't they continue the conversation about planned events with you over the dinner that was already cooked before Sam leaves in a matter of seconds? Why didn't Sam remain for dinner, you may be wondering. Make things different for you both. She has absolutely no interest in learning about your interview for this important post. Since Thursday night, she has been secluding herself in the bedroom and avoiding you. Today is Saturday. OPI, you are sadly too late to take any action, but it appears that you have access to sufficient data to make an excellent judgment. She misled us. They were aware that you were returning on Friday rather than Thursday, so she never anticipated being discovered. This was probably not their first encounter. You have given her too much time to arrange their stories to coincide. I'm not sure if I should stay for the wedding or keep doing the interviews.